Hey partner, I'm Barry, your pocket crew chief, the very first AI-powered mechanic for sim racing. Got a car that's a little loose or tight? Just tell me how it's handling, and I'll whip up instant setup recommendations just for you. Want me to get even more precise? Snap a picture of your setup, and I'll fine-tune it to perfection. And hey, I'm not just about giving orders. I'll explain why every adjustment matters, so you can really understand your ride. I'll even teach you the science behind the setup. Ever wondered why the track bar is so important? I've got the answer. With Pocket Crew Chief, I'll make you smarter, faster, and race ready. So what are we waiting for? Let's build to win.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, we have finally made it out of Florida for Week 3 in virtual Newton, Iowa for the Corn Cob 120 here at Iowa Speedway in the Pocket Crew Chief Winter Series presented by Spark Racing League. Welcome race fans to the V-Speed booth bringing you flag-to-flag coverage. My name is Logan Threlkeld and alongside me, as always, is Sky Shrek. Sky, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good. I'm excited to be here. Iowa is going to be a great race. Why don't you tell us a little about last week, Logan?
So last week, it really came down to the fuel strategy being the name of the game, as Dylan LeBeau led the charge for the finish line with just enough fuel remaining to celebrate after the checkered flag. Now we're set to find out how Iowa will be attacked by these drivers and see who can come out victorious tonight. Let these sponsors keep scrolling through the screens here. In just a second, we'll have Sky run you through our race information here tonight.
Yeah, we're racing tonight at Iowa Speedway, located in Newton, Iowa. First opened in 2006, it's 0.85 miles, so kind of a unique length here. 7/8 of a mile racetrack. 12 to 14 degree bankings in the turns on this kind of D-shaped oval. The front straightaway banked much more than the back straightaway, making 1 and 2 kind of a more difficult entry compared to 3 and 4. We're running 142 laps here at Iowa Speedway tonight, and it's going to be a good one.
It's a very oddball number to select, but knowing the behind-the-scenes working, we were aiming for that 120 miles in total. And Sky, why don't you break down the points for us here? The points are already heating up right at the start of the season.
Yeah, Jacob Bradley's got our points lead right now with 82 points in that 50 car. Ryan Rose is in second, Ellis Thomas in third. Max Koss sits fourth after a good run last week. Justin Wilson got our first win of the season at Daytona. He's tied with Evan Pienta for fifth. James Danforth sits in seventh. Dylan LeBeau, winner last week at Homestead, is in eighth. Robert Brobst in ninth. Braxton DeWeese in 10th. Sean Mulholland in 11th. And Chris Smith rounded out your top 12 here in points in 12th.
Even further back there behind that top 12, it is still an all-out battle to make your name on that board, as we are just about to start setting the grid here tonight. We'll take you down to our Evan Pienta Designs Pole Award winner, who I believe will be the 58, if I recall correctly from the qualifying effort. We'll find out here in just a few seconds.
Qualifying just wrapping up now. We're getting ready. It does look like it'll be, not the 58. Going to be a new name on the front row of this race.
Oh, well, let's give them the proper recognition they deserve here. And that is going to be Braxton DeWeese in that 15 machine there, taking home the Evan Pienta Pole Award here tonight. Congratulations, Braxton. We'll see if he can have anything to say about that at the end of the race here tonight. Always a strong front runner here. Let's go through the rest of our field as we are starting to see cars on the track. As previously stated, Braxton DeWeese in the 15 sets the pole with a 23.369. Then Jacob Bradley in the 52 is outside with a 23.397. Second row is going to go to Chris Smith in the 28 and the 55 of Evan Pienta. Third row, Johnny Rapp in the 52 next to Daytona winner Justin Wilson in the 58. In seventh, we'll have Levi Cox in the 54 machine next to Rye Jones in 8th position. And if my memory serves me correctly, I believe Rye might have an EOL to start this race. We'll keep an eye on that 91 machine. Last but not least, here in our top 10, Chris French in the 53 next to Ellis Thomas in the 8.
Yeah, Rye Jones does have that EOL, so he'll be going to the back. In 11th, it'll be last week's winner, Dylan LeBeau, and another driver who got a great run last week in 12th, and Max Koss. Moving to row 7, it's James Danforth in 13th with Devin Jack on his outside in 14th. 15th is Benson Weaver tonight. 16th, Robert Brobst in the 5. 17th on the grid will be Jacob Phillips in that 31 car. Jake Maki in 18th in the 13. And last row in the top 20, Nathan Gentry, 19th in the 4, and Rob Liedl, 20th in the 80.
And 21st, Tom Lickert in the 99 next to Sean Mulholland in the 39. 23rd goes to AJ Maglio in the 00 next to Jay Heischman with no qualifying effort. 25th, Chase Berry next to Brian Brobst in the 11. David Hill in the 43 will take the 27th starting position next to Zachary Mitchell in 28th. 29th will go to Patrick O'Toole next to Paul Thomas in the 42. And one more car to go, Steve Vest in the 60 in the 31st position here tonight. With the amount of action that we've seen so far in this series, we can guarantee these drivers are never going to give you up.
They will never let you down.
But they will go around in a circle for the next 142 laps, as we have one more lap to go on the pace lap. Oh, a little premature there, Sky. That was set up so well.
It was. The pace car lied to us. They kept the lights off.
Well, one more time around we'll go. And we'll be away under green flag conditions here for the next 142 laps.
It'll be Braxton DeWeese up front with Jacob Bradley on his outside. A lot of fast cars. Guys like Evan Pienza have really done a good job staying up front this season. Justin Wilson, another really fast car starting behind him on that outside row. A lot of contenders up here starting in these top 11 or 12 positions who all have a chance to take this race home.
They absolutely do. It is any man's ball game here tonight. We'll see who has what it takes to take home the Golden Corn Cob and the Corn Cob 120. As the pace car finally pulls off into that Geico restart zone we go, and Braxton DeWeese will take the green flag. We are racing here in Iowa. First lap in the books. Our pole sitter will not claim it. That outside line, Jacob Bradley in the 50 machine, he got quite the jump on that start and immediately took over the lead here ahead of DeWeese in the 15.
We're trying to go 3 wide further back into turn 3. There you go. Big move up the inside for Levi Cox in the 54 car, but it's going to end up being Justin Wilson who takes that spot on the top as Johnny Rapp starts to slide back. He was kind of stuck in the middle there. All kinds of lines coming out of these drivers here trying to make time on the early stages of this race.
Dylan LeBeau takes the inside line away from Johnny Rapp as we've got another one making a charge up there. I believe that's the 88 of James Danforth right behind. Oh, that is the 8 of Ellis Thomas on that low line there. Nearly gaining up quite a bit of ground. Just could not complete the pass as he's going to single file in now behind the 88 of James Danforth.
He's really making a battle with that 88 car here. They're both sitting one spot ahead of Max Cost in the 63. Had a really good run last week and is looking to have another here tonight. All these drivers kind of single file up here for now, but Justin Wilson is really quick. He's gained some time on Evan Pienza. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets there soon.
All of our viewers here tonight, don't forget to go hit the link in the description of this video and go for your favorite paint scheme you see on the track. I believe that is still down there. That is a season-long award going on. Reward for that, what I've been told is going to be a nice poster of your car that you race the season.
That's pretty fancy. I like that. I think we got a couple good contenders up here for that. I like the 15 car up there driving that kind of Ford throwback scheme.
Absolutely. A lot of good paint schemes out here tonight as we've got some action just a little bit back between the 53 of Chris French to his outside. That's Dylan LeBeau in the 26, the Wonder Bread car.
It is. He's up 3 spots here. It'll be 4 if he can get around Chris French. Really doing a good job to move up through the field here in the early stages of this race, and he's making that outside line work to at least bring a fight to this 53 car. While everyone else stays on the bottom, we're almost 3 wide there with Levi Cox barely escaping down to that apron. Pretty good speed out of that 26 car 8 laps in.
Oh, big spin for the 58 right in front of all of it. Justin Wilson, Daytona winner, collects it and keeps it on the apron. We're going to stay green here. Big loss of positions, losing 13 spots in that right there.
Yeah, there was a dive on the inside from Levi Cox in the 54. A little bit of contact between the two was what sent the 58 around.
Here towards the front, this is for this 9th position. The 8 of Thomas has now gained some traction on the inside of the 88 of Danforth.
They're going side by side back down here into turn 1. Battle further back too as well. Benson Weaver on the outside of Tom Lickard in the 99 for 16th.
Good side by side battles forming already this race. We'll have to see who can manage these tires the longest. Switch up those driving lines too often. Some excess tire wear that could upset the car out here on the track. It kind of changes the game.
Yeah, I think the cars who are kind of ringing that bottom right around the apron are going to be doing a little better on tire wear by the end of this run than the cars who are trying to make these moves on the top and work about a lane up. Iowa's a really difficult track down in these corners, a track where you can very easily kind of slip out a line or make a mistake on entry. Haven't seen too much of that yet this race, but as these tires wear, that is very, very possible, especially when you've got cars like Devin Jack there. Scrapes the wall down the back straightaway because of how high he sent it into one.
It's all about the exit here, not so much the entry. You're not going to get a whole lot of speed coming across the front stretch or the back stretch, typically topping out about 155 miles per hour on the front, and about 150 going into turn 3. So it's going to be all about your cornering here tonight. Typically how it goes with these less than mile-and-a-half tracks. Let's take a look back up here towards the front. Jacob Bradley in that 50 with a commanding 0.3 of a second lead at the moment. Braxton Deweese just hanging out back there for time being. See if he'll have anything going further into this race. Good strategy here for Deweese to hold off and save those tires as long as possible. We've got 142 laps on the docket for tonight. No reason to start burning them up too early.
Yeah, as mentioned, Jacob Bradley's our points leader. He's been one of the fastest drivers in the series all season. Hasn't been able to get himself into victory lane yet, but if he can stay up front, keep managing this race from that P1 position, he'll have a pretty good chance at it in about 120 laps now.
And he will, as Justin Wilson finally starting to gain some ground after that spin here in turn number 4 a few laps ago. He's back up to 16th. He's gained 3 positions since we last took a look at the 58. He is on a full-blown charge. He wants to make it back up towards the front of this field. But ahead of him, we've got a battle between Ellis Thomas and Max Kost now. Kost on the outside in that white and blue 063. The 8, Thomas down there on the bottom row, that black and silver pocket crew chief car.
And I wouldn't be surprised if once one of these cars breaks away, they start making a move towards the 88 of James Danforth, who's right in front of him. He's kind of been able to get away as these 4 cars now involving Jacob Phillips a little further back there start to do battle. But this battle is going to keep going. They're going to go side by side as Max Kost takes that spot. And now it's going to be Jake Mackey and Ellis Thomas working at it back there with Jacob Phillips trying to run the top.
As it sits right now, Sky, looks like that slightly higher low line. Can't quite call it a midline. Slightly higher low line is very dominant at the moment. Is watching Thomas now fall back another position. So he lost 2 in that corner there, actually, to Jacob Phillips in the 31 and Robert Brobst in the 5. Still on his outside. Thomas needs to get off of that yellow line if he wants to make any progress forward in this field. The 58 right behind Justin Wilson, still climbing through the field.
Yeah, and this track is shifting because the first couple laps of the race, it was all right around the bottom. That seemed to really be the preferred line. As you go, these cars are starting to move up a little higher, making a little more time on the top. I think if you have enough speed, you can still make a move on either line. You're seeing the 31 kind of do that here. He's entering a little higher than he was at the start of the race, but still definitely running that low line and trying to push the 13 car of Jake Mackey even further up the track to claim that 12th spot.
Look a little bit further ahead here. Pienta in the 55, now all over the back bumper, the 53 of Chris French. See if Pienta makes any sort of a move here. It appears the top 5 or 6 are just going to continue where they're at and turn some laps. Meanwhile, all of the battling is going on here in the middle of the pack, almost door to door. The 31 and the 13. Believe it or not, those 2 are teammates.
Yeah, they are, but they're not racing like it because the 31's going to run the 13 up the road a little bad. Exit out of the corner for Jacob Phillips is going to send him 3 wide down into turn 3 as it's the 8 of Ellis Thomas making the send. Justin Wilson joining this battle as well, but he's got to get through Ellis Thomas and the 31. He might try to peek to the middle 3 wide, but he'll cut back down and try to fight his way around the 8.
13 has just enough room to get up in front of the 5. There he does. Still side by side for the 8 of Thomas and the 31 of Phillips. Phillips with that battle with Mackey in the 13. Lost that position there to Robert Brobst. Now Max Cost up there in the 63. He has a whole slurry of race cars behind him ready to take that position away.
And they're side by side just in front of him now because Jake Mackey, he's been able to drive through the field. Robert Brobst is trying to get to the inside, sliding up off that bottom. It looks like the 13 is just turning better grip right now. He'll have the spot across the start-finish line. Mackey up from 18th to 12th is going to look at Max Cost, who we're seeing the bumper cam of right now.
Off the back of the 63 at the moment, you can see Mackey taking a look to the high side. Nearly contact from behind from the 5. The 4 way high on the racetrack. That's Nathan Gentry up there. He is now 1 lap down in this field. See if Gentry has anything to say about it whenever we get... Inevitably, you would think there'd be a caution here at Iowa with how tight this track is and how tight the racing is so far, but clean and green for the last 26 laps.
No, he's going to need to be careful that they don't get more cars lapped, because I don't think it'll be very long before the leaders start to come up on Paul Thomas as well. He needs to be the first car a lap down if he wants to get that lap back.
He does. Let's take a look a little bit further back here towards the back of the pack on the track. Right now, looking around this, I believe that's the 22nd position we're looking here with the 99 of Lickert, the 11 of Brian Brobst, and I believe that's the 39 there of Sean Mulholland, all under a blanket right now for the 21st position.
Brobst has kind of moved himself up through the field. He started this race in 26th. He's gotten that car up to 31st as they're all trying to navigate Nathan Gentry. Got a little bit of damage running up there on the top. Brobst is going to have his sights set on Rob Liedl up the road along with Benson Weaver, and Rye Jones, who started at the back of this field, has already gotten his way up to 18th and is looking at some cars racing in front of him.
Right now, Rye Jones has a whole lot of bumpers in his view. See if he has anything to get around this pack of cars. Right there in that white and black and purple, number 91 on that high line. 5 cars directly in front that he needs to start working around as soon as possible. It's Mackey, Berry, Phillips, Cost, and Wilson up there.
Well, Barry's doing a good job of dicing through the field, too. He's another car who started out back in 25th. Didn't turn a qualifying lap, but he's already gotten that thing up a couple spots. Running 16th right now, plus 9. He's got his sights on Jake Mackey, 1 spot in front of him there in that 13.
Sitting on top of the 91 now. We can take a first-hand look at all the mayhem that's going around the 91 of Jones. Mackey back down to the inside line there. Jones will have a run off of the corner. He's going to get that position away from Jake Mackey. Jones up to 16th now.
Yeah, this is some really great racing in the mid-pack. I feel like they've been going at it for about 25 laps now. Jacob Phillips, again, kind of slides up on exit of the corner, almost doors Max Cost, and that's going to allow Chase Berry to continue moving up. He's working down there on the bottom. We might go 3 wide out of the corner because Rye Jones is going to try to sneak through on the top. He'll tag the wall after a loose corner for Max Cost, and that'll get Ellis Thomas through on the bottom of this 3 wide.
Chase Berry came out nice and clean there as the battle continues behind. Berry have enough to get away from this pack that's been threatening his position here in 14th so far. Big contact in the wall for Jacob Phillips and a big avoidance for Chase Berry. Fantastic maneuver there from the 46. I don't think he collected the 31 at all. So we've got a caution on the track now.
Yeah, caution's out. This is Nathan Jono. Nathan Gentry's already in the pits. This is AJ Maglio around in the 00.
00 of Maglio. Let's take it back on the overcut replay camera and see what happened to the 00. bit of connection issues for the blue car in front, a little bit of connection issue for Maglio. Then all of a sudden, they're both sideways. We've got the 60
I can
of
tell you
Steve
what happened
Best.
here. Yeah, Maglio kind of sent it a bit deep, exiting the corner. Got a better exit than Steve Vest and just got into the back of him and turned them both around.
Looks like Maglio and Best both plagued with some connection issues at the moment. On top of the double zero, there he disappears. And then there he is again sideways after some contact with the 60 machine. Unfortunately, cannot quite break that one down for you.
Yeah, this was at the very back of the pack. I think these cars were running about 29th and 30th when this happened, so yeah, definitely just some issues back there at the back of the pack with cars having different speeds.
So under caution now. 36 laps in. First caution of the night. Well, we've got an opportunity here. Let's talk about how our race is set up for tonight. As we've mentioned, 142 laps here. Pit road speed of just 40 miles per hour. Can be proven difficult on that pit road entry here at Iowa. 3 tire sets available for this race. 1 green-white checkered attempt as always. With the 85% fuel load. The iRacing fixed setup here for tonight. Standard issue here with the Spark Racing League. Sky, I'm curious. You know, we try to hit this every once in a while, not every race, but watching some of the practice there, seeing the qualifying effort, you have anybody in your mind who's up here, maybe middle of the pack or back of the pack, will be contending for a podium position here tonight?
I think, well, he's up in 5th right now on pit strategy. I think Chase Berry is going to drive his way through. We saw how well he was driving to get through that mid-pack. That car's got a lot of speed in it. I think it'll go to the front. He's up in 5th right now on some pit strategy. The top 7 cars, Chris French through Chris Smith, they're on your ticker, all stayed out. My bad, Chris French through Brian Brobst on your ticker all stayed out. Chris Smith came down and took 2 tires. Jacob Bradley 4, Levi Cox 4, and from there it's kind of a variation in strategies. Some cars like Danforth and LeBeau taking 4, Devin Jack, Ellis Thomas on 2. So a lot of different pit strategies being played, but the top 6 have all stayed out.
And the camera zoomed in there on the 46. I believe in true Iowa fashion, all that design there that you see within the letters and the number, pretty sure that's corn.
Looks like it. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it with Iowa Speedway. It's kind of what they're known for in Iowa.
Absolutely is. And now we are doubled back up. Got French on the inside. Johnny Rapp to the outside. Justin Wilson has made his first appearance up here in the top 3. Next to Jacob Phillips out there in the 31. That'll be your first 2 rows on this restart here. Pace lights are off. See these drivers come around here to the Geico restart zone. Chris French is away. We're back under green flag conditions here, starting lap 39 for the Corn Cob 120.
Outside got swallowed. It was a horrible restart for Jacob Phillips. He didn't go. He dropped back about 10 positions and checked that entire outside line up, and it's been a scramble back there of cars trying to get basically whatever they can. We're 3 wide with Jacob Bradley really taking advantage of those 4 tires sent it through the middle of 2 cars who didn't pit. We've already got some fresh tires moving up through the field. Levi Cox is in 4th or 3rd right now. Johnny Rapp, Braxton DeWeese, all flying through the field.
Well, it looked like a little bit of contact there between DeWeese and Rapp, either contact or avoidance on the part of the 15 there. I don't see any damage, so I think Rapp got loose, and DeWeese made a fantastic move to avoid it. But contact now in the back of the 58 of Wilson. DeWeese spins the 58.
Yeah, well, DeWeese is on 4 fresh tires there. Wilson is on old tires. You got about a 40-lap speed differential. He was just trying to get to the front.
Absolutely is. Good hard driving, just ended up there in the back bumper of the Daytona winner. Take it back to our Overcut replay camera. See about a different view here for this one. There's the 58 around. We'll take it back a little bit further here as he got collected a little bit more. Let's find Braxton DeWeese on board here.
I mean, you can really see how much faster these cars are on new tires. That's Levi Cox, another car who just took 4 right in front of him. And he is going to blow straight through this 58 car down into 1. DeWeese thinks he can follow with the gap, but the 58's kind of already down there, and that's where the contact comes.
When Robert Brobst in the 5 just barely caught the front end. One more time here. The 58 goes around. There's the extra contact there. Doesn't look too bad on Brobst's part. Just nowhere to go for him. Justin Wilson's going to have a bunch of damage on the front end of that 58 machine. Likely bring it down pit road, get all that fixed. Don't think that is going to be a race ender here tonight.
We had some more contact a little further back trying to dodge the incident. Big damage to Chase Berry's rear bumper. Ellis Thomas didn't really get on the brakes as much as the car in front of him, and Chase Berry got some pretty major rear damage on that car, and he's in the pits trying to fix it.
Here comes the 46, making sure that he can stay on that lead lap. Looks like he got most of it fixed up, Sky.
Yeah, he was in the pits for about 30 seconds. He was in the pits for about 30 seconds there, and it seems to have gotten straightened out, but that left rear had a pretty big hole in it before that. Chris French still in the lead of this race now. Didn't pit. He was kind of the only car that didn't pit and managed to hold on up there, but he's really going to be on an island because behind him it's Levi Cox and Evan Pienza who took 4, Chris Smith on 2, Jacob Bradley who took 4. Some of these guys who didn't pit on that last caution had to come down now, like Patrick O'Toole, AJ Maglio, because they were just getting swallowed up.
Now, fresh tires will certainly be an advantage. Likely see the rest of these drivers come down for one of their 3 sets available here tonight. About, nearly halfway through this race. Not halfway, sorry. About a third of the way through this race. The pace car lights will go off this time by. We'll stack them back up one more time. See what these drivers can do for us here on this next restart.
I'm really interested in seeing if Chris French is able to really hold any kind of position, because we saw cars like Johnny Rapp, the moment that they kind of got put up on that top line and the faster cars started coming through on the bottom side of the racetrack, they just went falling straight back to the field like a stone. We also saw some cars who took old tires get bad restarts to kind of hold up the field. Going to be really interesting to see how Chris French manages and if he can hold off all these cars with 40 lap better tires behind him.
The advantage French has here is this restart zone. He can throw off the timing of his competitors, but it's only a matter of time before the 54 and the 55 catch back up. 53 takes the green flag once more. He gets a great jump on that bottom line. It's about 2 to 3 car lengths on second place. Cox and Pienta side by side through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, but look at how fast they're closing that gap up. They gained about a 1/10.5 already. They've already got that gap back down. Levi Cox is going to go straight to the top because he's going to try to get the run out of the corner, and he will. Levi Cox to the lead of this race. Now it's Pienza 3 wide up the inside, 55 to second, and now he'll challenge Cox for the lead.
We knew it was only a matter of time for French in the 53 machine. Now falling back to the 4th position, Jacob Bradley will sneak into that 3rd spot here. Pienza all over Levi Cox right now. Both on the same set of tires here. Let's take a look through the rest of the field. Johnny Rapp hung out to dry on the outside for the moment. Rye Jones in the 91 takes the inside.
Rapp another... Sorry.
Go ahead, Sky.
I was going to say, Rapp's another car who hasn't taken any tires, so he's really struggling up there to try and keep pace with these guys behind him.
Be aware here. Looks like we're setting up for another 3 wide, almost contact between the 1 and the 13. Now 3 wide with the 52 on the high side. No problems there for Mackey or Benson Weaver. Now Johnny Rapp falling back out of the top 10. A little bit further up, Rye Jones now on the high side. Ellis Thomas still loving that low line, hugging that yellow line all the way around the track. He's moved up about a half a car length from the first stint of this race. Now has Mackey to his outside.
Benson Weaver took a bit of a detour through the grass. He was running in the top 15, got loose at a 4, went through the grass. He's dropped all the way back to 29th on the field.
A good outcome there for the 1 machine, as we just saw them battling with the 13 of Mackey. I wonder if there's some contact there.
No, he just kind of lost it. It was a single car, sent it a bit too hard, put the power down at a 4 and just got sideways.
Back here for the 14th position, got Brian Brobst in the 11 on the high side, the 99 of Tom Lickard on the inside. Johnny Rapp still getting past. Back to the 14th or 13th position now. It's Devin Jack. Just took away the 12th spot. Still side by side right behind. Now Max Cost enters the picture. See if he has anything for the 43 of David Hill.
Even the 2-tire strategy we've seen from some of these cars doesn't seem like it's working particularly well. Ellis Thomas, Devin Jack, both on that strategy in this battle. Neither of them have really been able to hold on and kind of move up to the field. They're both languishing back in the mid-pack. Chris Smith, also on 2 tires, was in the top 5 at one point. He's gone back to 8th, getting passed by Mackey and Rye Jones up there, who's moved into the top 5.
Rye Jones just made that move last lap around the 53 of French. Now Jake Mackey's throwing his name in the hat. He's on the inside now of French, looking to hunt down the back of the 91 of Jones.
Yeah, and French is still dropping on those old tires. Chris Smith, next car up to get around him, but Mackey is really flying in that 13 car. Gotten it up to 6th after this restart. Racing with Rye Jones, who's another car who's had a really good time in that 91. Driven it from dead last up to 5th so far this race.
Still kind of keeping an eye on the driver that started at the front of this pack for that last restart. The 53 of French still falling back now. As he has Chris Smith in that 28. He's getting closer. Times are starting to fall, but not as fast as they were just a few laps ago. Looks like some action back here a little bit further in the pack. AJ Maglio now back to the 19th position here. Just took away the 19th spot from the 80 of Lidl.
Yeah, Maglio's got some speed in that thing. He had a really long pit stop last time around. Had to fix some damage, put some tires on it. But he ended up coming out with about 7 lap fresher tires than anybody else, and he's using them to get up through the field. Right now, Benson Weaver, who we saw go back to 29th on that drive through the grass, is racing with Justin Wilson. Usually you'd think this would be a battle up front, but they're doing it for 22nd right now behind Sean Mulholland.
It is a hard battle for 22nd at that. We'll take a look off the back of Sean Mulholland's 39 machine. A lot of damage there for the 58. Almost contact coming into turn number 3. Justin Wilson's going to take a look to the inside. Not quite the run that he needed here. Now Benson Weaver takes a look to the inside as well.
3 wide as Mulholland gets pushed out of line, and those 2 cars are able to move up into the top 20 there for the Justin Wilson. He'll now be chasing down Rob Lidl in the 80 and AJ Maglio right up the road in the 19.
Back up front here, the battle for the lead has started to form. Levi Cox still has that number 1 position here. Pienta less than a quarter of a second behind. Jacob Bradley right there at the half-second mark. About the closest that we've seen here for the last 2 restarts, really.
Yeah, Pienta seems to really have some speed in that car. All 3 drivers ran pretty equal lap times last time around, all within about 0.02 of a second there for position. So they're all driving pretty similar right now. Bradley will fall back a little this lap, but Cox and Pienta still keeping nearly identical pace in those top 2 spots.
What do you say we hop inboard here with Pienta? Take a look at what he's got going on, looking at the back bumper of the 54.
Running a little lower. I think he's just trying to get some clean air on that car. He can't follow straight in the tire tracks of the 54 or else it'll get a little squirrely on him, try to take off towards the top of the racetrack. So he's got to run a little lower than that 54. It gives him a better entry and some clear air to get down there, but it hurts him on the drive off. The 54 is consistently able to beat that 55 car down the straightaways.
Keep an eye on the hands on the steering wheel on these corner exits. Take a look back at this here in just a few laps once these tires start to settle in. And I guarantee that we will see a whole lot more counter steering on the corner exit than what we're seeing right now.
Oh, absolutely. I bet if you went a little further back to Chris French or one of those cars who's running 65 lap old tires, they're having a heck of a time on that wheel.
Look here, Chris French currently sitting in 9th. Yeah, we might as well hop in board here with French. See what he's up against now. You can hear the RPM difference. French a lot slower through the corner to manage those tires. Back to his starting position here tonight. Not where he wanted to be after taking the green flag last time by. A little bit of counter steer there. Not as much as I would have expected to see from 66 lap old tires.
No, he's doing a pretty decent job of managing it so far in that 53 car, but if he stays out, if this race keeps going green, it's not going to be long before he has to pit, because either he needs fuel or this thing is just driving terribly.
The 88 of Danforth now takes a look to the inside. DeWeese right behind both of them, looking for an opportunity to capitalize. Keep an eye on this battle here. Now the 88 of Danforth to the inside, door to door with Chris French now. He'll have the advantage going into turn number 3. Luis has to choose wisely now who to follow, and looks like he's taking the correct line now.
Yeah, DeWeese trying to get, DeWeese trying to get back up to the field. Very loose for Chris French out of that corner on those old tires. He'll fall back to 10th, and DeWeese is going to try to knock him out of the top 10 back to 11th. The good news is there's a pretty big gap behind DeWeese back to Devin Jack, who's the next car back there in 12th. DeWeese will get through, and now he'll try to pass Danforth for 9th.
A little bit further ahead here, Robert Brobst in the 5 machine now on the back bumper of the 28 of Chris Smith. Taking that high line on the exit does not seem to be helping on that drive off.
We've seen it work on a couple of cars, maybe not so much in that battle. It kind of just depends on, if you have clear air, if you're able to save your tires enough to where you're still able to actually get the throttle down big time off that corner. That's kind of what it's going to come down to here.
Taking a look at the battle between the 14th and 15th position. David Hill in that neon yellow 43. Ryan Brobst on the inside line. We've seen him trade positions twice so far here. A little bit of a wiggle. David Hill holding the 11 down, forcing him to lift off that accelerator on the corner exits a little bit more than he'd like to out of turn number 3.
I'll give Brian Brobst some credit. He is one of the cars out here on 71 lap old tires. He started back around 10th on this restart, and he's done a great job of holding himself in this mid-pack. He hasn't really fallen too far back from where he was, and even though David Hill and Tom Lickert behind him are on 42 lap pressure tires, you can't really tell that with how well that car has been able to save.
Brobst doing a fantastic job wheeling that 11 machine right now, but now under fire from the 99 of Tom Lickard to push him out of the top 15. One thing to keep in mind, you have a limited selection of tires. This might be a good play from these drivers who are still out there for the last 73 laps. See if they'll have that advantage whenever it comes to that checkered flag. Still a ways to go for that, though. Levi Cox still in a commanding position. A half-second lead over Evan Pienta. Same distance there for Jacob Bradley, as Bradley and Pienta nearly door-to-door through turns 3 and 4. 50 slots up in behind the 55 now.
Fastest car on the track the last couple times around here has been Braxton DeWeese. He's gotten that car up to 7th now. I saw a lap about 1 or 2 laps ago where he ran about 2/10 quicker than Cox and Pienta. That 15 car is really, really fast right now. Already up to 7th, and he's got his sights set on Mackey for 6th because he's running over 1/10 a lap quicker than that 13 car. 4/10 of a second quicker than Jake Mackey at the line that time.
Luis has the pace so far this season. Hasn't been the most lucky driver out here. Fantastic driving we've seen the last 2 weeks out of the 15 machine. See if he can put one together here tonight. As Pienta has lost that position to Jacob Bradley now. Rye Jones has now joined the equation here for the top 3 positions.
Yeah, Rye Jones also running pretty good laps. Not as quick as DeWeese, but he seems a little faster than these 2 cars. He's running the top line there, and he's getting some pretty good speed down the straightaway doing it. While Bradley and Pienta continue to battle and drop some time as a result of it, Rye Jones taking good advantage to get himself up the field.
A little bit of issues over there on the ticker. You see quite a few names bouncing around. I would say do your best to avoid paying too much attention to anything outside of the top 10. Maybe we'll get that sorted out here as we continue on through this race. Now we're over halfway through. Sky, it's been a good one so far.
It has for sure. We've had some good racing up here towards the front. A lot of good racing a little further back in the mid-pack right now. Rye Jones running about equal lap times to Pienta. We'll see where he is at the line this time. A little less than 1/10 quicker. Right now it's DeWeese still running those blazing fast laps. He's caught Jake Mackey. He's through on the bottom. That's P6 for the 15 car.
I knew it was going to happen. He was running those lap times about a half-second faster each time through. This time it was time for the 15 to take away the 13's position. He wasn't having any more of it.
And now he's going to try to get towards Dylan LeBeau. Last time around at the line, Dylan LeBeau a 24.9, Braxton DeWeese a 24.7. Another 2.5 tenths picked up by that 15 car. He is really, really quick right now. Fastest car in the field by a decent margin.
Back a bit further here, the 63 of Costa's now in a battle with the 52 of Johnny Rapp. Got about a 40 lap difference between the tires here, but Rapp holding down the inside line. Cost with all the momentum off that high line. He'll get clear of the 52 going into turn number 1. It looked like AJ Maglio into the wall just ahead of him. A little bit further back here, looks like we've got a bunch of race cars. There's another caution out here on the track.
Brian Brobst around in turn 4 is the cause of that one.
A lot of names bouncing around. Where does it stop? On the 11. Take it back here one more time to our overcut replay camera. See what happened to the 11.
Yeah, just kind of a single car incident here. He got loose out of 4, still having those issues there, but he is going to come out of 4. He's going to get on the throttle a little too hard, and it just sends him backwards through the grass down the straightaway. 11 car, yeah, just a single car accident. I don't think he takes any damage, but he was around on the racetrack, and that brought out the yellow.
That's all it takes. A short track here. It appears connection issues still going to plague the broadcast. Not quite get in touch with what we need to see. We'll take it back live. Back to our pacing laps. Levi Cox will take the green flag this time, barring he does not come down for any more tires or fuel.
Hell, everybody in the field is coming down for tires and fuel right now, except for Jacob Phillips. He is staying out. Every single other car in the field has just come down.
So Jacob Phillips will assume the lead here. 31 machine. See if he can hold it down on 40 lap different tires. He's going to need all the jump that he can get. Taking a look now at pit exit. Sometimes can be quite chaotic. Tonight, we're clean.
Very different strategies being played. Evan Pienta came out first. He took 2 tires. Levi Cox, third on 4 tires. James Danforth came out third, and he is on 2. So pretty different strategies up there. Decent amount of cars took 4 tires back to Benson Weaver and Tom Lickard, who are the next cars on 2. And then I think everybody else took 4.
Well, Sky, you've definitely got the knack for breaking down the pit strategies here. One pit strategy I'm not sure is going to work out is for the 31. Got a whole bunch of race cars behind that have either 4 or 2 new tires on the ground. Phillips 43 laps into this run on the set of tires he's got. Gonna need all the help that he can get here. You have to imagine Phillips is holding out for potentially one more caution and hope to flip the script on the rest of these drivers out here. Meanwhile, collecting a bonus point for some laps led, which can be ever so important when it comes to the end of the season.
It can be, but I don't think this is going to work. I mean, we saw how it worked out for some of these cars last time. Guys like Chris French, who stayed out on, honestly, less old tires than what Jacob Phillips is on by about 10 laps. And they got swallowed almost instantly. I don't think Jacob Phillips stands a chance for more than about 2 or 3 corners here before he's got Evan Pienta, James Danforth. And I think this is going to work really well for Levi Cox in 4th after him.
It's either going to work really well for Cox, or it's going to work really well for Pienta, who we've seen up here challenging for the lead so far. Pace car lights are off, coming down the backstretch now. 2 more corners until we take another green flag. Phillips on the inside, Pienta on the outside, Danforth and Cox in row 2, Bradley and Jones in row 3, Deweese sitting in 7th, LeBeau in 8th, Smith and Weaver will round out your top 10. As the green flag is in the air, late jump for Phillips. That is not what he needed here. He is immediately under threat from 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, and he actually, last time he started on the front row, he had a bad restart. This is only a little bit better. Levi Cox is on 4 tires on the bottom, and he will immediately dive it down to the apron. Big run for that 54 car, and now Jacob Bradley is going to try to take it 3 wide. Doesn't quite have the run. Phillips is going to hang on to lead the lap, but it's going to be Levi Cox straight back to the bottom in 1 and 2. Caution is out further back. It's AJ Maglio and Paul Thomas.
Another mix-up for the 00 here tonight. We'll see. I know he was plagued with some connection issues. We'll see if this one works out a little bit better this time. See the restart from the blimp camera here. Barely see Maglio go around there.
That was Paul Thomas that went around. He went around off the nose of Maglio. I think Maglio kind of just got loose down the straightaway.
Let's take it back and look at Thomas then. Thomas on the outside in the red 42. And Maglio just not there, but he's technically still there. Making contact to the left rear of Thomas, sent him around there coming across the start-finish line. Hop back to our live camera now. Maglio still unseen on the track for me. Paul Thomas bringing it down pit lane, get some damage repaired here. Got a couple more drivers directly in front. That's the 58 of Wilson, the 60 of Best. Got cars disappearing all over the place now.
That is AJ Maglio behind Wilson. Vest is out on track, but he's the last car on the lead lap.
Well, we'll stack them up here in a couple more laps. See what these drivers can do. But for the meantime, let's take a word from our sponsors.
Hey partner, I'm Barry, your pocket crew chief, the very first AI-powered mechanic for sim racing. Got a car that's a little loose or tight? Just tell me how it's handling, and I'll whip up instant setup recommendations just for you. Want me to get even more precise? Snap a picture of your setup, and I'll fine-tune it to perfection. And hey, I'm not just about giving orders. I'll explain why every adjustment matters, so you can really understand your ride. I'll even teach you the science behind the setup. Ever wonder why the track bar is so important? I've got the answer. With Pocket Crew Chief, I'll make you smarter, faster, and race ready. So what are we waiting for? Let's build to win.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We're back live as the pace car is about to come down pit lane, and we'll take the start of lap 94. Jacob Phillips on the inside, Cox to the outside. We're away once more under green flag conditions. Still Phillips without the jump that he really needs to get the edge on the rest of the field here. The 54 of Cox holding it down on the outside line now.
Yeah, Cox wasn't quite around him when that caution came out, but he will get clear now. Big send for Rye Jones a little further back, looking to take it 3 wide out of the corner as everyone scrambles to get around that 31 car of Phillips down there on the bottom.
Evan Pienta with a little bit of a block there on the 28 of Chris Smith coming into turn number 1. Good move by him to keep that position. Now he'll get the run on the outside of the 31 of Jacob Phillips, who's already fallen back to 5th place. 28 right behind, ready to pounce. Rye Jones as the 15 goes sideways and the 31 into the back of him. Braxton DeWeese a little bit loose off corner exit. Not sure if that's what brought that caution out, but we did indeed see it.
We had 2 separate incidents there. Caution was Max Cost making contact with Devin Jack. And then after the caution had already come out, DeWeese got loose off of 4.
Let's take a look at the first incident here between Cost right after the restart here. The 63 is the one that we're looking at. Turn number 1, nice and clean, starting to close down on that bottom line. Back up towards the wall for Cost. And I believe right there is the contact from the inside of the 49. We can head back up front here. Jacob Phillips on that 31 is the one who collected into the back of DeWeese. Take it back and hit an onboard here. Not a whole lot of room for Phillips to go. Right after we exit turn 4 here, see DeWeese there on the high line. There he is, getting a little bit loose. There's the sideways, locked it down. And Phillips just unfortunately chose the wrong line, expected DeWeese to come back up onto the track. Not a whole lot of damage for DeWeese, but that is a lot of damage for the 31. You saw the hood pop up there momentarily. We'll surely bring it down pit road. Get some damage repaired here during these caution laps.
Yeah, there'll definitely be some damage on that 31 car. He's, yeah, there he is. He's going to come down pit road right now. Imagining he'll put 4 on that as well to even out his tire strategy here and see if he can climb back to the front.
If you're going to be at the back of the pack, you might as well. It only makes sense. But that gives Levi Cox the lead once more. Jacob Bradley will start to his outside. Luis to the inside. Pienta on the outside of the second row. Chris Smith in 5th. Rye Jones in 6th. Dylan LeBeau, last week's winner, sitting in 7th on this restart. Chris French, James Danforth, Robert Brobst will round out your top 10.
A lot of fast cars here up at the front. Levi Cox has been up there all race. He's got a great shot to get it done. So has Jacob Bradley. 2 cars who have had a ton of speed, and if Braxton DeWeese can kind of recover from getting loose there, I wouldn't be surprised if he's up there at the front as well.
Absolutely not. DeWeese has had all of the speed here tonight. A little bit of an issue there, but ultimately not the cause of the cautions. He's going to make it out nice and clean without any sort of penalty points applied. Pace car lights are out now. Scroll through some of this field here. Let you take a look at some of these paint schemes. Don't forget to go down to that link there in the video description. Make sure you vote for who your favorite driver's scheme is. We got a lot of them out here. 31 to be exact started out in this race. Looks like we're down to 27 now. Possibly 29. Timing and scoring still doing some weird things on me here. Hop back up to the front for our restart. Back under green flag to start lap 100 out of 142. Levi Cox got the jump that he needed. Bradley immediately to the outside line, opening up the inside for Braxton DeWeese as he's going to take advantage of it. You can see it there off the back shot of the 15. A little bit of damage there on the right rear. Aero, no factor really here at this 0.85 mile track. A block from Pienta on the 91 of Jones behind. 28 of Chris Smith looking to take the inside. So he's going to make a little bit of contact now with the back of Pienta.
They're side by side up here, and they might be going 3 wide. Pienta through the middle as that 28 of Chris Smith is going down to the bottom, and Rye Jones, as he has for most of the race, is ringing the top. We're going to come out of the corner 3 wide, but Chris Smith will get the advantage down onto the straightaway. Cox still looking up high, not going to get anything done.
For a second there, I really thought Dylan LeBeau was going to send that 4 wide. He had the opening as there's another caution on track further back in the pack. We have cars parked all over and one driving in reverse.
That's Jacob Phillips going, no, my bad, not Jacob Phillips. That is Wilson, I believe, going the wrong direction back there. Yeah, he is. That is Wilson going the wrong direction. Devin Jack was the one stop.
Well, you know, I've seen a lot of things in my time of broadcasting, Sky, but that's not quite something I'm used to seeing there.
No, mildly concerned after the after he almost caught the 31 there, but he's got it back around intact.
Let's take it back to the overcut replay camera now and see what happened back here at the back of the pack. There's the incident ahead there. That was the 49 getting sideways. Devin Jack mixed up once more, collected a couple more into the equation here. I believe that was the 44 of Patrick O'Toole, the 00 of AJ Maglio, and obviously the 58 of Justin Wilson there. Get it back here again. A little bit of contact there. That just sends the 49 sideways. Made some contact there with the black and gold car, and then everything else just stacked up. And we might as well just highlight this one more time. That is a half a lap in reverse for Justin Wilson here. Be interested to see what the race stewards have to say about that.
You know, sometimes you just want to do it just because you can. Do a little Tow Mater impression out there.
I mean, if it works, it works. It got him back to the start-finish line. He spins it around right about here. Nearly catches a car. That's the 31 of Phillips, I believe, there. Luckily, no harm, no foul. Very interesting strategy coming out of the 58 machine. It kind of left me speechless there.
Yeah, you know, he got it all worked out in the end. Didn't hit anybody. Could have gone a lot worse for him. Although I can't imagine he would have wanted to be involved in that accident in the first place.
Absolutely not. He is now sitting in pit road, getting some of that damage repaired. Justin Wilson, first race of the season winner there at Daytona, not having the race he was wanting to have here in Iowa. Finally make it out of Florida, and the luck stayed there.
It's not been a good start to the race for him really at all. I feel like he's been involved in about 2 or 3 different accidents now. It's just not gone his way, despite the speed he's had.
Jay Heishman's a name that we haven't mentioned a whole lot here tonight. Currently sitting in the 18th position, up 6 spots from where he started this race. Not a bad night for the 06 machine there. Let's talk about our biggest mover, Sky, while we have a chance. That's the 46 of Chase Berry. He is currently up 13 positions so far in this race, followed closely by the 23 of Zachary Mitchell, a couple spots back. Mitchell up 12 spots at the moment. Next biggest mover will be Steve Best with 10 spots gained so far this race, but our race leader, Levi Cox, up 6.
It's been even more impressive for Chase Berry because he had to do it twice. He got from 25th up to 11th on that opening run, got up to 5th on pit strategy, got in an accident, went to the back, and has gone all the way back up to the back again to 11th.
These car lights are off. We'll come down pit road this time. Cox on the inside, Bradley to the outside. In the Geico restart zone they are, and away we go.
Great jump for Levi Cox. Bradley kind of happened to be pushed by the car behind him there, Chris Smith, to get up to speed. Now it's going to be DeWeese looking on the bottom for second, but Bradley does a good job of holding him off out of the corner. He'll stay second for now.
We're 2 by 2, 4 rows deep back here, starting around the 6th position with Dylan LeBeau on the inside, Pienta on the outside. Chris French a little contact with the wall. I think Chase Berry got into the wall a little bit there on corner exit as well. Pienta with a big sin. Did not quite get the room that he needed to get around LeBeau, and another caution on track.
David Hill involved in that one along with a couple other cars.
So back to our overcut replay camera here, and we'll see. We're having issues with the back of the pack cautions here actually showing me what happened. Take another look.
Yeah, this is between David Hill and AJ Maglio. David Hill just catches him down into turn 1, and they both go into the wall pretty hard.
AJ Maglio with the lesser of the damage of the two. That could potentially be a race ender for David Hill in his first appearance here in the Wednesday night Xfinity Series. Sponsored by Pocket Crew Chief. Not the way you want your first race to go in a new series.
No, it was a pretty hard hit to the wall there as well. Can't say this has been the race AJ Maglio wanted either, because he's been caught up in a couple accidents.
That he has. Maglio has been a name we've seen quite a bit on the replays. No fault to his own. He's getting caught up in the wrong thing at the wrong time as he'll bring it down pit road, followed by Cost. We got the 8 of Ellis Thomas in front. A couple more cars following in behind there. See Paul Thomas at the back of the pack. I believe that's Brian Brobst. I apologize. I caught it. And the 31 of Jacob Phillips.
Yeah, everybody from about, I'd say, 15th on up, Jay Heishman there stayed out. It was mostly cars at the back coming down, with the exception of Thomas, Cost, and Weaver, who are all running a little further up. Still 19 cars who stayed out there.
110 laps nearly completed. Will be done this time across that start-finish line. Nearly. We'll have about 30 laps to go when we drop that green flag. Let's see, if I recall correctly, you made your pick on Chase Berry, correct, Sky?
Yep.
Let's see here. I think I'm going to go with that 15 of DeWeese. He's been showing way too much pace here the last couple of weeks. He's showing a lot of pace here tonight, sitting in that third spot. It's not quite where he wants to be, as he was the pole setter for this race. He's still in a prime position to take advantage of any mistake that the 54 of Cox or the 50 of Bradley make and put that 15 right back where it started this race at.
Yeah, he's certainly been fast at times, particularly on these longer runs. He's been the fastest car on the track. Issue is, we haven't really gotten any long runs here. These cautions keep coming out, and he can't get himself past the 54 and the 50.
Cautions breed caution, Sky, but third time's the charm, as the pace car light should come off this time by. We'll see him stack back up here, and we'll be one more time around for yet another green flag here in the cornfields of Iowa. The Corn Cob 120 nearing completion. It is almost an end to our Wednesday night. We still have 30 laps to go, and it's only going to get more heated from here. Chris French staying high up there on the line against the wall. If I can point out a strategy, that's probably trying to use as much fuel as possible. French is likely going to be a little bit heavy in the fuel cell coming across the start-finish line to end this race. Burn off as much as you can. A little bit better drive off with less weight. At the same time, you have to keep in mind the weight in that fuel cell is going to help with the grip on those rear tires. Pace car will come off. A little bit of a connection issue there for Levi Cox. He's back, and now he's away. Green flag on the track once more. A little disconnect there, playing a certain advantage. As a 15 of DeWeese now to the inside of Bradley. He's going to look back for that second position here. Bradley's going to put up a fight going into turn number 3.
Got a great jump. Let's see if DeWeese can get after it and follow him through now. Like I said, hasn't been the best car on the short runs, but you know he's quick over the course of a run. Bradley prevails for now. He'll have to pull back into third. That 54 car in the 50 of Jacob Bradley seemed to really, really have it on these shorter runs, and that's all we've gotten right now. Side by side further back, it's Rye Jones on the top, Pienza on the bottom, Chris French trying to peek through the middle.
It's a scramble back here at the back half of the top 10. Finally starting to single file out. Chris French electing to stay on the bottom, door to door with the 55. Nothing doing. French still looking to take away that spot.
Yeah, they're sticking side by side. Now it's going to be French getting up there over Pienza. Side by side again, further back. That's Brobst and Danforth. Brobst going to get the spot over the 88.
Now Danforth under attack from the 13 of Mackey, who takes away the inside line. So short run, inside line works. Long run, it does not.
I think over the course of a run, these cars definitely start to migrate more up top. That's when you start to see that kind of middle line and that, I wouldn't quite say high line because they're still running a lane off, but that further up line on the top really start to work its way in.
And it does. Chase Berry dropping positions rapidly. He was just inside the top 10, sitting in that 8th or 9th position. Now outside, looking in 11th. It's the 46 struggling to find the pace here after that restart. Nearly contact behind between Danforth and Liedl.
Yeah, more great battles in the midfield like we've had for most of the night. Chase Berry trying to get himself back into the top 10 around Jace Mackey. Can't quite get there right now. Jake Mackey still running the bottom, and he might get clear. He won't get clear. That 46 is going to have the run on the top. Now it's Jacob Bradley back up front, challenging for the lead.
Bradley had the nose out in front of Cox for just a second there. So we know he has a line that'll work, at least momentarily. Bradley back to the outside of that low line. Just can't seem to find a good groove to get around the 54 of Cox. Cox doing a fantastic job of keeping all these drivers behind.
He's really trying to kind of maximize the run on the straightaway so he can pull a crossover. Here it goes right here. He got enough this time to pull the crossover back down to the inside after running the top in 1 and 2, but it's just not enough. That inside line doesn't really work out for him. Levi Cox will get straight back ahead. We'll see what he does down into 1. This time he'll go in a little lower than the 54 car and try to ring the bottom.
Bradley in that 50 just needs to slide up in the corner, exit a little bit higher than what he has. Try to get door to door with Cox, as Cox is going to pinch him low. He's going to drive away with no problem, making Jacob Bradley lift off that accelerator. Now Braxton DeWeese has the 28 of Chris Smith right behind, challenging for that 3rd position. Side by side, a little bit further back between French and LeBeau.
Yeah, they're really going at it there for 6th. French recovering from that issue on that pit strategy he had earlier in the race where he kind of free-falled back outside the top 10. He's carried on pretty well. He's running 7th right now with LeBeau on the outside. LeBeau will get that spot. A little bit of an issue back here further back.
A little bit of contact there for the 52 of Rapp. I believe that was between the 13 and the 55 there. They're 3 wide. All drivers able to collect it back up. Rapp nearly going below that yellow line. Now he's back on attack here, looking for that inside line on the 13 of Mackey, as well as, I believe that is Tom Lickert there in the 99. He kind of took a peek to the inside of Danforth. Couldn't make anything happen, though.
Yeah, these guys behind Mackey are trying to run different lanes to get around him, but Mackey's been so good at defending. He's kind of running just low enough to take the air off, but he's going to give up the top as he does that. Mackey has to get out of the gas to avoid hitting the wall. Otherwise, I think he would have soared straight on around that 55 car. He'll have to try it again. We'll see what Johnny Rapp can do out of the corner.
Rapp with a great drive off that time out of turn number 2. He'll get that inside advantage, but slides through the corner entry. A little bit of contact there with the 55. But we're good. Nearly contact behind for 13 and the 88 of Danforth. Johnny Rapp asserts the dominance that he needed to put himself back in the 11th position. We'll see if he can claw his way back into a top 10. Meanwhile, Chris Smith has mounted the comeback. He is, well, kind of fell off there out of turn number 4, but he was within about a 1/10 of a second there on the inside of DeWeese. Top 4 running away from the field at the moment.
Yeah, DeWeese is about a 1/10 faster both of the last 2 laps than Chris Smith. He's running slightly better laps than both Cox and Bradley as he runs that top. We'll see what they go this time around. That time around, it's a lot better. Cox with a 5.2, Jacob Bradley with a 24.58, Braxton DeWeese a 24.41, and even better than that, Chris Smith with a 24.4 flat. So those cars back in 3rd and 4th, have speed. They're faster than these two up front right now. And as we head to 15 to go, are they going to be able to get there and make the passes?
Then the closing laps, you have to start making those moves that you might not feel comfortable with. If you want to gain any sort of positions here, it's time to go.
For sure, it's time to go for Rye Jones, too. That car back in 5th has made some leeway towards the leaders as well. A lot of quick drivers up here, running about 3rd through 5th, picking up time on your top 2. Braxton DeWeese, once again, more than a 10th quicker than Jacob Bradley, and Chris Smith, a half 10th faster than DeWeese. So those two cars are really, really making time towards the leaders right now. DeWeese is going to be at Bradley momentarily, as Smith is almost side by side with DeWeese.
Back here battling for the 10th spot right now is Johnny Rapp and Rob Liedl. Contact there was made just a few moments ago as the 5 of Robert Brobst got a little bit loose on corner exit. Now Brobst being plagued with some connection issues. That's going to play a factor here for Johnny Rapp to decide which line he wants to take. Now he's going to be on the inside of the 5 machine.
Good lap for Jacob Bradley last time. Saved him some trouble. He ran the fastest lap on the track, and that's going to keep him ahead of DeWeese for now. That gap is starting to fall to Levi Cox, but he's still holding it 4/10 in the lead out front. This battle still going on further back. We had a car in the wall right there, and that is going to allow Robert Brobst to get straight back to the outside.
Car in the wall was the 52 of Johnny Rapp. Nothing doing. Able to bounce right off and keep it full throttle going to turn number 3.
Still holding steady for these cars back here while the leaders continue to jostle around. DeWeese gaining a little more time, but it's not as much as he was getting. He might have burned those tires off, pushing really hard further back. This is going to be really interesting to see how these drivers are able to make it work up front as we head down to the end of this race.
You are correct about that. Jay Heischman almost had the move completed on Danforth. Couldn't find the momentum that he needed on the bottom line. Falls back into place in 16th. Take it back up here a little bit as Jake Mackey makes a move on Rob Liedl now. He only has one car separating the 13 from a top 10 finishing position here. Inside 10 laps to go. Levi Cox now navigating lap traffic. I believe that's the 11 of Brian Brobst. Able to get around with ease. 50 of Bradley, also around with ease. DeWeese a little held up by the lap traffic, allowing Chris Smith to close that gap once more. It's going to be a battle for 3rd place here, coming across the start-finish line.
Yeah, Chris Smith was momentarily ahead of him on a dive just like this one down into the corner, but DeWeese was able to ring it back on that top. He seems to be making really good time up there, but he's pushed a little too hard. He doesn't have the speed he did a couple laps ago, and that's allowed the 54 and the 50 to get away.
15 of DeWeese has to be weary about the slide maneuver that Chris Smith can put on these corner entries. If he can get clear just enough, he'll slide right up the track in front of the 15, making DeWeese slow up so we don't have another caution here at the end of this race. But once that white flag comes out, it's no holds barred. Chris Smith slides up in front of DeWeese. I can see the 15 keeping the hammer down and driving right through it, saying, "No, sir, not today."
Yeah, that 50 or that 28 car is really still working on that 15, but he hasn't been able to do it. It's been kind of a similar story to what we've had in the battle for the lead, where if you try to go around the 15 on the top, you don't quite have the momentum to do it. But if you try to get around him on the bottom, he'll just block you and you won't get the run out of the corner. So DeWeese has done a great job of defending, just like Levi Cox has. But with 4 to go, Jacob Bradley still trying to close that gap, and he might have a chance as Cox hits lap traffic.
Jacob Bradley gaining the opportunity that he needs to take home the Golden Corn Cob. Will he be able to mount a drive up here? Will the lap traffic come into effect enough for the 50 machine to get around Cox? Deweese virtually out of the picture now, just trying to save a top 3 finishing position from the 28 of Smith. Keep an eye
but
up
that
here on the
28 car.
54.
That 28 car is all over the back of Deweese. He can't quite get clear of him. The 54 Levi Cox gets around the lap car pretty well, and it'll be Bradley to the bottom. But as we head to the white flag, it'll be Levi Cox taking it with 1 to go.
Cox in the best position that he could hope for all night long. Jacob Bradley separated by a quarter of a second and a quarter back to the 15 of Deweese. Cox has 2 more corners to make it through to claim the victory here tonight. Bradley to the inside, but nothing doing as Levi Cox will take home the Golden Corn Cob in the Corn Cob 120. Deweese able to hold off that 3rd place finish from Chris Smith.
Bry Jones coming home 5th, and a pretty good run back there from Chase Berry. Started this race out in 25th and drove it up to 6th over Dylan LeBeau.
19 positions gained for the 46 machine here tonight. Bry Jones in a similar kind of area. However, technically started out this race in 8th, but with that EOL sent him all the way to the back of the pack. It's time for Levi Cox to celebrate this win here in Iowa. We'll let him burn it down here on the front stretch. Knew it was going to happen, a fantastic battle all the way to the end. Whether it's at the front of the field, the middle of the field, or the back of the field. Lots of cars separated here by less than 0.2 of a second. A lot of them also separated by less than a 1/10. A lot of side-by-side battles coming across that start-finish line here to end the race tonight. But take one more word from our sponsors here, then we'll come right back for our post-race coverage of the Corn Cob 120 here for the Spark Racing League.
Hey partner, I'm Barry, your pocket crew chief, the very first AI-powered mechanic for sim racing. Got a car that's a little loose or tight? Just tell me how it's handling, and I'll whip up instant setup recommendations just for you. Want me to get even more precise? Snap a picture of your setup, and I'll fine-tune it to perfection. And hey, I'm not just about giving orders. I'll explain why every adjustment matters, so you can really understand your ride. I'll even teach you the science behind the setup. Ever wonder why the track bar is so important? I've got the answer. With Pocket Crew Chief, I'll make you smarter, faster, and race ready. So what are we waiting for? Let's build to win.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we're back here with the Spark Racing League presented by Pocket Crew Chief. For our post-race coverage tonight, let's go ahead and get right into our results. Levi Cox taking home the win here tonight in that 54 machine. Fantastic drive by him. 7 cautions out on the track tonight, only 4 lead changes. Levi Cox being the last one claiming victory here tonight, followed up by the 50 of Jacob Bradley. Braxton DeWeese claims his first podium of the season here tonight with the 15 machine. Chris Smith in fourth. Rye Jones with that EOL comes all the way back for a top 5 finish. Chase Berry finishes out here in the 6th spot. Dylan LeBeau, last week's winner, finishes here in 7th. We have Chris French in 8th. Johnny Rapp takes the 52 to the 9th place finish. And Jake Mackey in 10th here tonight.
And outside your top 10 is going to be Robert Brobst in 11th, James Danforth in 12th, Rob Liedel in 13th, Jay Heichman 14th, Tom Lickert 15th, Evan Pienta back in 16th, Patrick O'Toole P17, Benson Weaver 18th, Max Cost 19th, and Sean Mulholland rounds out your top 20 tonight.
And the last third of our field here tonight starts with the 21st position going to Zachary Mitchell, followed by Justin Wilson, not the race he wanted to have after that win at Daytona a couple weeks ago. Paul Thomas in the 42 takes the 23rd spot, followed by Ellis Thomas. That's the father-son duo out here on track, finishing right behind one another. Steve Vest in the 25th position. Behind him will be Brian Brobst, David Hill, Jacob Phillips, AJ Maglio, Devin Jack, and last but not least, for our 31 car field, Nathan Gentry, who exited the race early here tonight. Sky, what do you say we get right into our interviews with our top 3 finishers?
I think it's a great idea. You taking Levi Cox, you're taking Braxton DeWeese first.
Let's get our 3rd place finisher up here, Braxton DeWeese, and have a word with him. Braxton, you've got Logan and Sky up here in the V-Speed booth. You've got a copy, buddy. Braxton. Sky, I see him lighting up. I don't hear anything on my end. Are you getting anything from Braxton?
No, I do not.
Let's move on to 2nd place then. We'll circle back to Braxton, see if we can get his issues situated here. I believe, Sky, you're standing by with our 2nd place finisher, Jacob Bradley, here tonight.
Yeah, hey Jacob, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
You were close there at the end, but you just couldn't get around Levi to win that race. What do you think you needed to get it past him?
A little bit more luck with the timing of the cautions the first couple times, but it was a really good car, short run and long run for me. I had a lot of speed right out of the gate, tried to take advantage of that, and at the back end of the run, I knew I had some more. It was really hard to pass there at the end. He knew how to defend and get right up against the wall to kind of stop my runs, but definitely fun. Hopefully, it'll keep the points lead and move on from there.
Yeah, well, speaking of keeping that points lead, we're off next week, but after that, we're going to a very different track compared to Iowa. We're going to Auto Club. You excited for that one?
Yeah, Auto Club is probably my favorite of the 2-mile D-shaped tracks, so it should be a fun race. Pretty excited to go there. It's a little bit better than Michigan that the tires wear, so we'll see how people kind of use their stuff up and see what happens. There's a lot more passing opportunities.
All right, anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
I want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. I want to thank all the people who put on this league: Johnny Rapp, Robert Probst, Devin Jack, Nathan, Randy for doing race control, and all the people who were viewing. My parents were. Thank them for watching. So, thank you.
All right, congrats on 2nd place tonight, Jacob Bradley.
Thank you.
And I believe Logan is standing by. He's caught up with our winner, Levi Cox.
Yeah, we'll get right down here with Levi Cox. You got a copy here, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, a fantastic race win for you here tonight. You led 88 of these laps. Started out in 7th, 6 positions gained. Well over half of the race in the lead. Levi, what was the key to your success here tonight in Iowa?
I don't know. It seemed like my car would hang on the long runs, which was very nice, and those cautions helped out with keeping those people who took the fresh tires back there, and then just a good little sprint to the finish. So, a good race.
Absolutely was. We saw multiple battles where Bradley was able to catch up to you there, but you made that 54 as wide as the track is at times, and were able to keep plenty of drivers at bay. But overall, just a fantastic race. Is there any memorable moments that you'd like to bring up from what happened here tonight?
Yeah, early on, like I think it was lap 5 or 7. I think I got into the 58 car, kind of got him sideways, so definitely want to apologize to him. Didn't mean to, kind of sent it in there, and he was arcing and just hit him. So I apologize for that. But yeah, it was fun hopping up there to that high line and just running it about 10 or 12 laps before that yellow came out before the yellow spree and just really started pulling away. So that was pretty cool to see.
Absolutely. Well, we've got an off week next week, so make sure you catch up on your rest. We've got Auto Club coming up after that. Going to be a very, very different track from what we were here on in Iowa. Do you have any plans for preparations going into that race?
Mm, no, just enjoy the week off and get back into it whenever that week rolls around. Getting married Sunday, so I'm just gonna take some time and enjoy that.
Well, congratulations on that, Levi. A big win going into that one. So it's I would have to say 2 wins in 1 week on that. So in the meantime, though, Levi, anybody you'd like to say thanks to for your success here tonight?
Yes, thank you to you guys at V Speed for putting on the broadcast. Um, Spark Racing League and all the admins, Evan Pienta Designs, and all the extra guys who sponsor this league. Big shout out to Cody Glenn Cox Music on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Y'all go check him out and comment that y'all seen him here.
Sounds like a plan, buddy. Well, great job tonight. We'll see you in a couple weeks, and have fun at your wedding, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
It's Levi Cox, race winner here tonight. The 54 team going to be very happy going into the weekend. Let's see if we can catch back up with our third place finisher here. See if we've got Braxton DeWeese on the mic yet. Braxton, do you have a copy, buddy?
I got a copy. Do you got a copy of me?
We've got you now, man.
All
Third
right.
place finish here tonight. A lot of support in the chat all night long. Started on the pole. Couldn't quite get back there, but you had the pace to. What more did you need here tonight to put this 15 back where you started?
To be a little bit more patient and not get into Justin's left rear there and get sent to the rear. That definitely put a wrench into things and definitely didn't help out the situation. But we were able to get through the field there, get up to sixth before that caution. That practically put us in a position to pit there, and that was a pretty good time to pit, honestly, just because with all the cautions and whatnots. But P3 we'll definitely take that, man, and we'll move on to not next week, but the following week at wherever we're racing. I'm not too sure.
That'll be Auto Club that you're going to try to carry this momentum into. We've seen you have a fantastic pace in the previous 2 races, so it's been a shock that it's taken 3 weeks to get you up here in the booth. But finally up here, you're going to be looking to see if that 15 machine can carry the momentum into Auto Club after the off week. Braxton, is there anything that you have in store going into the rest of this season for us?
Hopefully we can put on a damn good show and hopefully run up front and put that Interstate Ford Mustang as well as our Scrum and Tires Media Ford Mustang up in the front and try to get some wins. Like you said, it's being able to, finally get up here in the booth 3 weeks in is not how I was wanting it to be. But that's how it's going to be, and we're going to work with it. And we're going to, try to take the week off. And granted, I'm doing another race at Daytona. We're going to still practice a little bit for Auto Club and, try to just see if we could be a little bit better on the pace. And try to hold the lead. If we get the pole next week, try to hold the lead or something on the start, or in 2 weeks. But we're just going to try our best and hopefully we can do something with it. I feel like the last couple short type of schedules that I've done with Slingshot, which a lot of the guys were raced on Slingshot before came over here to Spark. We didn't start off strong. We had a couple problems, got a couple wrecks, definitely in the Gen 6 series last year in the summer, their last series actually. And to be able to climb back and be able to get 2 wins in the last 3 races there for the 6-race schedule, helped out a lot. So hopefully we can not wait till the end to try to get some wins. Hopefully we can try to get a win at Auto Club, and if not, the next race, and we'll keep trying either way, but we'll see if we can go get a win.
So starting off a fresh series with some deja vu for you there, Braxton, but is there anybody you'd like to say thanks to for putting this 15 machine up here on the podium in 3rd place?
Yeah, most definitely. Big shout out to Interstate Ford. We've had a pretty good start to the week so far in all my other leagues with Interstate on a car. We were going for 4 wins out of the 5 league races that we've done so far, and we weren't able to get it, but we were close enough, and we're going to take it. So we're going to keep the momentum that we have just in general with how we're racing right now, and hopefully we can take that tomorrow and try to go and advance to the dual races for the PGR 500. That's a pretty big race this weekend. It's $2,000 to win. It's like the main type of Daytona 500, I guess you could say, for iRacing and just people putting it on. So I'm looking forward to that with the Interstate Ford colors and all that tomorrow. But also a big shout out to Allen's Arts Images, 3 Dips Ice Cream Shop, Bennett's Publical, James on Main, Deweese Renovations, Drill and Captures, Booth 34 Diecast, Short Track Report, Scrub and Tires Media. We'll be debuting that car soon, maybe at Auto Club. So that'll be pretty exciting. We'll give a shout out to Blaze Design as well as Evan Pineda Designs. Evan Pineda, he races and he also does a lot of the paint schemes, and he did mine. And we're looking forward to debuting the Scrub and Tires car, as we have already debuted Interstate car, obviously. But big shout out to him, as well as Bullet Dog Coffee Company. You can use Rex5 for 10% off over there. And I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Looking forward to going back and watching the broadcast. And yeah, just finally done naming off all the sponsors for y'all. But hopefully we can be naming it in Victory Lane in a couple weeks.
Well, you certainly have my brain in a twisted up pretzel right now. That was quite quick. It's almost like you've been practicing it there. But fantastic job here tonight, Braxton. We'll see you in a couple weeks at Auto Club, buddy.
Yes, sir. Y'all take care.
That will conclude our interviews with our top 3 finishers. Well, Sky, another fantastic Wednesday night here. Thankfully, outside of Florida this time, the Spark Racing League always puts on a great show. What did you think about tonight, Sky?
I think we had some great battles really all throughout the field. There was a lot of great racing in the mid-pack throughout the race. They were mixing it up front. You never really knew who was going to come away with that one at the end. A lot of fun. I thought it was a really good race.
It absolutely was. And if you want to catch the next one, well, it won't be next week. It will be in 2. But if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another race. For everybody behind the scenes at Spark, and for everybody behind the scenes at V-Speed, Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper, Eddie Smith, Morgan Cook, and my co-host, Sky Schreck, I've been Logan Threlkeld. Good night, and we will see you on February 12th.